Hello, everyone. I was going to do a walk and talk, but there's certain things I need to screen share. And in our quest to believe nothing and question everything, I needed to do a little bit more research on this. What I saw the other day was a pride flag, and the actual inventor of the pride flag, who keeps adding to it in the LBGT2 plus Q, whatever. It goes on and on and on. They just keep adding things to it. But the one thing that I was actually shocked by is the fact that they had now added autism to the Pride group. Now, I understand that, people want to be proud of who they are, what they are, but this is dragging again, in my eyes, a lot of children into a movement which seems to be highly sexually based. So, what I'm going to start with, I'm just going to share something here. I'm going to show you something here that I'd seen. Here we go. So, this is what we'd seen. This was saying that the rainbow infinity symbol is used as the symbol of the day, representing diversity with infinite variations and infinite possibilities. This started off talking about Autistic Pride Day, and it looks like they may have had something separate, but then it was added to this here. And here we go, the LGBTQ I2S plus. I don't even know what half this stuff is these days. People just seem to be jumping on the bandwagon and forming a massive divide and conquer. But they're saying here the flag has been updated by the official flag creator for Prides and LBGT orgs, and the new flag now added is autism. Kind of shocks me, really. A lot of people out there are wide awake and understand how the majority of the children out there and the spikes that we've seen, I think it's something like a 480% increase of autism. To add those who have been injured in this manner to a group of what I consider, sexual orientation prides is again a huge blow to those children who are suffering and struggling through this. And I certainly would advise any parents that think this is a good idea to not get involved. So doing my due diligence, I thought, well, okay, I'll just check up and make sure that this is right. And, the good old fact checkers here and check your fact and whatever. It says that a post was shared on Twitter that claims the Progress Pride flag has been updated to show a symbol representing autism. And it shows a guy here, Ollie London, doing this. And he's putting it out about it being updated. Now, the verdict, as you can see here, has been claimed as false. It says there's no evidence for this claim. The creator of the intersex, which is what it is, inclusive progress pride flag, but it doesn't officially represent the LGBTQ community. So we can take what we want from that. What I thought I would do, and we'll go on to Valentino Vecchietti, they. Looks like a guy to me, but you can never be too sure these days. But I actually found the post that they put up, and it says there, Happy Autistic Pride Day. I have created this intersex inclusive pride flag version with the rainbow color infinity symbol to recognize the broad and varied experiences of those with neurodiversity. It's called neurodiversity now. Maybe this explains a lot of what I call mental illness within the movement. Certainly those that want to perform sexual shows for children. And recently within the Pride Festival, a lot of men that are standing there with the dicks out in public as children walk by, which is kind of funny, actually. I remember a long time ago, a friend of mine was taking a pee after we'd been to the pub on the way home, and the police arrested him, gave him a beating up. sprayed them with CS gas, and were looking to charge him with basically indecent exposure in public. Well, this doesn't seem to apply to a lot of other groups, but I guarantee if you walk down the middle of the street at any time of the day and decided to get your gear out, that you would be arrested, and you would probably end up with a record for some kind of sexual crime, whether it be indecent exposure or, exposure to minors or whatever. But it just appears that there's a total blanket immunity for those out there doing this. So when we talk about the autism side of things, we need also to understand that autism is something that has peaked massive amounts, increases hundreds and hundreds of %. So, there's been a lot of people that have asked about the evidence to say that this is linked to certain things. Here's a small video here. I'm just going to play to you. This may be of interest as well.
How many children or people are totally unvaccinated? Is that like, where do you find? Is it just the parents that stepped up and said, I think that's a very small percentage, because so many of us blindly followed, the recommendations to vaccinate children.
Yeah, it's less than 1% of the public. So the Amish are a perfect example of a large group of people who are largely unvaccinated. And there's no we can't find an autistic kid who is unvaccinated. It's very, very rare in the Amish community, very, very rare. You won't find kids with ADD, with autoimmune disease, with PANS, with epilepsy. You just don't find any of these chronic diseases in the Amish. And the U.S. government has been studying the Amish for decades, but there's never been a report out to the public. The reason, of course, is that it would show that, if you don't follow our guidelines, you're going to end up healthier. That's why there's no report after decades of studying the Amish. There's no report, because the report would be devastating to the narrative. It would show that the CDC has been harming the public for decades and saying nothing and burying all the data.
So there we go. That does give us an indication there. Let's shut that off, eh? I'm sure we don't need to be watching that twice. But there you go. That gives you an idea of what we're up against. And the sad part is those who are currently in control of governments, those who are funding these groups and making these groups grow larger and have further and further influence throughout everything that it touches around the world. These are the very same groups who also have vested interests, financial interests within the pharmaceutical industries that are believed to be causing this. Take away what you want from this. But for me, I think this is one step too far, pushing forward, trying to bring autistic children into the movement of the LBGTQ movement. Let me know what you think. And if this strikes a chord with you, share it, get it out there. People need to know. You never know. They might even ban me for trying to speak out and get this information out there. But that's the system that we're living in today, guys. Take care.